Here we go again. The energy I'm picking up from this card suggests that you, divine feminine, are becoming a distraction. It seems that the masculine energy is currently trying not to think about you. They are making an effort to keep their minds extremely busy by focusing on work. It's almost as if they know that once they start thinking about you, they'll go down a rabbit hole and become consumed. Your energy is incredibly magnetic to them, and they can't help but think about you. However, this isn't just surface level thinking about how you're doing or what you're up to. I'm getting that this person pays very close attention to details, everything from the way you speak, to the way you walk, to your smile and even your scent. It's the little things like these that they recall vividly, even though you might assume they wouldn't remember such specifics. What's interesting is that these moments replay in their mind over and over, on a consistent basis. The energy here feels like here we go again because this masculine knows that once they start thinking about you, they can't stop. It's non-stop, day in and day out. In fact, I'm getting that some of them have to allocate time specifically to focus on other things because they realize how easily distracted they become when they think about you. You might feel this energy too, divine feminine. There are moments when you might pop into their mind, and it stops them in their tracks every single time. What really surprises them is the level of intensity. It never declines. From the moment they met you up until now, regardless of how long your journey has been, the energy, passion, and intensity remain just as strong. I'm also picking up on a feeling of butterflies, like a ball of energy in the pit of their stomach, when they think about you. You might experience this too, and it's often because they're thinking about you or sending you some type of energetic or telepathic message. Externally, they might know how to conceal these emotions, but if you could look inside their inner world, you'd see they're going crazy. This is something they're still adjusting to, and they might be surprised that you still have the ability to make them feel this way, especially if this has been a long journey. So, if you were wondering how your masculine is feeling, they're completely consumed with thoughts of you at this time. Let's get into the next message. Right person, wrong time. Wow. The energy here feels incredibly intense. It seems that this masculine fell in love with you very quickly, divine feminine, and there's a great deal of regret surrounding this realization. From the very beginning, they viewed this connection as a case of the right person at the wrong time. This connection was intense in every sense, physically, emotionally, and sexually. It was fast-paced and deeply passionate right from the start, as if there was an unspoken understanding that the time you had together might be limited. I'm picking up that either you, divine feminine, or your person might have been connected to someone else, or perhaps there was some external factor creating an obstacle. It feels like both of you entered this connection knowing, deep down, that something external, whether time, distance, or other circumstances, might eventually come between you. What makes this even more poignant is the awareness your masculine seemed to have from the beginning. They knew this connection wasn't something they could take for granted, which is why the pace was so fast and the passion so consuming. They approached you with their heart on their sleeve, completely open and vulnerable, and the feelings were mutual. There was an undeniable intensity, a magnetic pull that neither of you could resist. Even if this wasn't always verbalized, the energy shared between you was unmistakable. From the first moment, your presence made them question everything they thought they knew. It was as if you both understood, consciously or unconsciously, that your time together might be fleeting. Despite this knowledge, or perhaps because of it, something outside of your control kept pulling you closer together. It didn't make sense, but at the same time, it made perfect sense. Your masculine seemed to be driven by an urgency to express everything they felt, even if words failed them. For some of you, they may have even told you outright that they loved you, unable to hold back their emotions. For others, their feelings spilled out in unspoken ways, through their actions, energy, or even their gaze. Speaking of their gaze, there's something specific about your eyes. When they looked into your eyes, it was overwhelming, almost too intense for them to handle. It's as if, in that moment, you could see directly into their heart. Everything they couldn't bring themselves to say aloud was laid bare in their eyes. That connection, that intensity, was incredibly powerful and undeniable. Now, it seems they're in a place where they're consumed by memories of you. These thoughts are deeply emotional, and they find themselves lost in them. It's like they're saying, "Here we go again," because every time they start thinking about you, they have to actively try to pull themselves out of it. They know how easy it is to get completely lost in the thought of you, with just one memory, one feeling, one image of you in their mind. From the very beginning, this connection has been all-encompassing, powerful, and deeply emotional. Even now, they're struggling to reconcile their feelings while trying to manage the intensity of this bond. The last message we have is, "I need to come clean." This masculine energy feels an overwhelming need to express what they've been holding back. At the time of your connection, they might not have explained their feelings or circumstances clearly, but now they feel compelled to address it. There's an intense energy here, passion and chemistry that might have felt like stop and go, with moments of deep connection followed by sudden silence or even ghosting. For you, this likely felt confusing and didn't add up. This masculine carries a heavy sense of regret. If they could go back, there's so much they would do differently, starting with the pace of the connection. It seems that, from the start, they felt as though time with you was limited. This led to a sense of urgency, almost as if they had to experience everything with you all at once. They wanted to bask in your energy, your love, and the connection you shared. They felt an overwhelming need to consume every part of the experience, almost to devour it. This rapid pace gave them an adrenaline rush. It made them feel alive, but it also left them feeling deeply unfulfilled when things came to a sudden halt. The separation triggered an emotional decline for them, a sharp and intense drop that they instinctively associated with your absence. This caused a great deal of stress for them, as they struggled to process their feelings and desires while grappling with the realization that they couldn't have the access to you they truly wanted. For some of you, there might have been a sharp contrast in their behavior, expressing strong emotions at first and then suddenly withdrawing. This left you wondering what happened and questioning their feelings. They regret their inability to provide clarity during this time. It wasn't that they didn't feel the connection, it was that they were overwhelmed by the barriers, whether those were emotional, physical, or external circumstances like time, distance, or even third-party situations. This connection was deeply intense and undeniable. From the moment they met you, they knew something was special, but they also seemed to know, intuitively, that external forces might eventually come between you. This is why they dove in so quickly and gave all of themselves in the beginning. When the time came for you to part ways, it left them with a heavy heart and a sense of unfinished business. For you, Divine Feminine, if you've been intuitively picking up on these feelings or questioning whether their actions match the energy you felt from them, you were absolutely right. They want to confirm this for you now. They don't want you to question how they felt. Despite the barriers or obstacles, their emotions were genuine and deep. Sometimes people hold back, not because they don't care, but because they lack the comfort and vulnerability to express their raw emotions. This connection didn't allow room for ego, and that's something this masculine deeply admired, but also feared. They've always wanted a connection where they could be transparent without judgment, but the intensity of this relationship challenged their comfort zone. This fear of vulnerability caused them to hold back intentionally, not out of malice, but because they worried they'd lose the opportunity to experience the connection altogether if they were completely forthcoming. Ultimately, this masculine energy acknowledges the barriers that existed, whether external, internal, or both, and regrets not being more transparent. The regret they carry is heavy, and they wish they could have given you the clarity and openness you deserved from the very beginning. If you don't forget, then write in the comments about how your day went. I will definitely read it. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, like and subscribe channel.